everybody, it's Wootini over at GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. I'll get to this in a second. First, the clearly big news that needs discussing is the press conference with the release of all the information about the Xbox One. I have to say, I appreciated that it was only an hour, as opposed to the Sony PlayStation 4 conference that was, like, that presentation was like 8 hours long. It was really obnoxious. However, Sony did actually show some games, which I appreciated. I was very concerned that Microsoft basically started off by saying, look at all this fun stuff you can do with the TV, and watching TV, and Skyping calls while you're watching a movie on Netflix, and then you can go play a game, and it's all quick, instantaneous. And the problem is that whenever they have one of these kinds of presentations, you're never sure whether what you're seeing is genuine or not. You know, like, was this pre-recorded? Is this all rendered? Like, or was he actually controlling it? Because odds are he's not actually controlling it. I don't expect the Kinect worked that well that he was able to do it on stage. But anyway, my main concerns is that Microsoft basically led off with like this entertainment angle and not games, and they only showed a few games and not much of anything that interested me. They were heavy on the sports and then the Call of Duty, and I'm like, eh. So, and I mean, I know they're going to save their games for E3, but I'm still not sold on this as a console, because they're not presenting it as a games console. They're presenting it as your home entertainment one-stop set-top box, and they shouldn't be doing that. A games console should be a games console first, and then you add the other stuff. You know, like, it's an Xbox. I play my games. I'll occasionally watch Netflix. That's it, you know? Like, I want to know about the games. I don't care about watching live TV. Who watches live TV anymore? I don't watch live TV. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't even have cable television anymore, and they just watch stuff on Hulu and Netflix and whatever. And I actually still have cable, but I DVR everything. I'm not watching commercials. Like, I never watch anything when it's actually on. So, like, Nintendo on the Wii U had Nintendo TV, and when they announced it, I thought, oh, that's interesting. That, I don't know, that'd be interesting to check out, whatever. And I mean, it was a free download and whatever, and when it finally launched, I turned it on, I went through and I marked a bunch of my favorite shows, and then a bunch of my favorite movies, so that, you know, I could theoretically turn on Nintendo TV and be like, I don't know what to watch. Recommend something, based on everything that I favorited. And the problem is that it's like, oh, do you want to watch this? And I'm like, that sounds good. And it's like, yeah, it's not on until tomorrow night. And I'm like, then why are you recommending it to me? But like, you know, if I'm in the mood for something, they're like, yeah, this movie just started, you might want to watch this movie, but it started 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, well, then I don't want to watch it now. But like, nobody watches live TV. So the idea of watching live TV and being able to switch between TV and your game with a swipe of your hand or a voice command, I don't see how useful that's ever going to be. Also, I don't even like it when I'm playing a game and I get the little pop-ups on Xbox and PlayStation where they're like, hey, your friend is online, hey, your friend is online. And I know I could shut it off, but then I sometimes want to know, but I shut it off for movies, so I don't see the pop-ups when I'm watching movies. But I'm just like, do I really want to, like, be watching a movie and then have somebody interrupt with a Skype call? Or, you know, and then they're talking about how you can be watching a movie, but you can also, like, look stuff up online, you can switch between the browser and the... That's what your phone is for, or your tablet, you know? And you use your smartphone or your tablet, and you look up that guy on the IMDb to say, where do I know him from? You know? Like, I don't see the use of all of this. It's all, oh, it's nifty, but I don't see it being that useful. I want to play games. And the problem is I know they're going to announce games at E3, everybody will, but the problem is that I've heard other things about the Xbox One that concern me even more. There's the whole thing about oh, it won't play used games. You're basically going to install every game onto your hard drive, and you have a license that you unlock with a special code. You want to share it with a friend, they've got to input the code and pay basically the full retail price of the game. There's no more used games, because you buy a used game, you'll have to buy the code. You know, and it's like... the thing is I'm trying not to make any kind of decision, or like, I'm not making up my mind yet, because I'm waiting until there's an official statement on this is how it's all going to work. Because the whole used game thing and borrowing games from your friends, it's like they're clamping down on that, and it's very weird, and I don't understand how it's going to work. And Microsoft hasn't come right out and said, this is exactly how it's going to work. And it's funny, because leading up to the press conference, there were all these rumors about this, and I would have thought that Microsoft would have said, ooh, okay, there's going to be a huge backlash. We can't really do this. Let's change this and make it so it's not, you can use used games. It's all fine. But they didn't. Maybe they still could. It would behoove Sony to jump right in and be like, hey, you can play used games all you want on our console. No problem, no problem. You know? And, I mean, Nintendo is the same way. You can play whatever you want on theirs. And that would help. Because as it is, I'm actually kind of leaning more towards PlayStation this time. Last generation, I bought my 360 well before I bought my PS3. And, I mean, granted, they could announce like a new Dance Central game or something that would excite me to get an Xbox One, but I'm also concerned because it looks like you've got this Kinect, and the Kinect is like really integrated into the system, as opposed to now on the 360 where it's just kind of, if you have it, it's fine, whatever. Because I have a coffee table in front of my couch here, so I don't have room in front of my television to dance or move or do anything. I mean, I can sit here and go like this and it would be fine, but if I wanted to play an actual game, I have to angle it over to the side so I can go play over next to the couch where I've actually got a little bit of room in my tiny apartment. And I don't know how much thought Microsoft put into that, because with the original Kinect, I was like, this is great if you can get it to work in a tiny apartment. And it doesn't work great, but I can go over to the side at an angle to my TV and I can still actually play Dance Central. So I don't like the idea that the Kinect is going to be like fully integrated, because I don't know how well that's going to work depending on your gaming environment. And I will say that the backwards compatibility is really irritating. And by backwards compatibility, I mean lack of backwards compatibility. Like, my 360 is full. I mean, I don't even have as many games as a lot of people do, but I have a lot of DLC for Rock Band and Dance Central and Lips that I'm going to want to play those games. Because, you know, I don't know what Harmonix is planning next, but I'm still going to want to play Rock Band, or I'm still going to want to play Dance Central. And, like, I liked the fact that I could take my Wii U and basically replace my Wii in the entertainment center. It just, one for one. But now, you're telling me that nothing on my Xbox 360 is going to transfer over to my Xbox One? That's irritating. Like, I've got a lot of stuff on there. So now I have to find more room in my home entertainment system so that I can put a giant, ugly black box next to my Xbox 360? That's just insane. I mean, at least, even Nintendo, like, not only do they have backwards compatibility where you can, like, play Wii games on your Wii U by simply entering the Wii menu, you can then basically use it as a Wii and play all of your Wii games and all of your downloaded Virtual Console games and all of your downloaded Wii U games. But now, if they add a game that you had on the Wii to the Wii U eShop, you can rebuy the game for either $1 for an NES game or $1.50 for a Super Nintendo game, and then you'll have it in the Wii U library where you can play it on the Wii U, and you'll have the Miiverse, and you'll be able to play it directly on the gamepad and all of that sort of thing. So while you don't get it for free, it's only $1, $1.50, which isn't terrible, really. So they're allowing you to still play the games that you'd previously bought. And it's amazing to me that people dump all over Nintendo left and right, yet Nintendo seems to be the one that understands that people like the backwards compatibility and they like to play their old games still, and they don't want to have all of these consoles under their TV because that's just too much, Microsoft wants the Xbox One to be the one-stop shopping, one set-top box, all you need. It's not, because I still need my 360. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of Nintendo, I'm going to stop ranting about the Xbox One. I'm going to talk about Nintendo for a second, because you'll notice I'm wearing my Wii Fit t-shirt. I bought this t-shirt, I got this t-shirt for free when I pre-ordered Wii Fit at Nintendo World, and as you can see, it does not fit me. I had bought an extra large because at the time, I was wearing extra large clothing. Granted, I probably could have worn a large, but I would just buy everything extra large so that it would look a little baggy and it would somehow make me look less fat. But you may have noticed on GayGamer.net that I posted a story with my 5 years later after starting Wii Fit. Wii Fit came out 5 years ago. And I lost 40 pounds, 25 using Wii Fit alone, and another 15 afterwards with running and stuff. And the whole story is it's been in previous updates, the whole story is in that update. And I wanted to give the regular viewers a treat. I know that some people have been asking for this right from the very first episode of this podcast, but here, Wii Fit. Thank you, Wii Fit. And here is your shirtless podcast, and that's it, and enjoy. See you next week.